Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of On the Mic with Mike. I'm your host, Mike Lyrican, and joining me today is the one, the only, the amazing adult star that is Miss Monique Leslie. Monique, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you?
Good. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Well, thank you so much. I got to say, first and foremost, you do a lot of great work in the adult entertainment industry, and we're going to encompass a lot of that in today's forum. But to start off, I'm kind of curious, how did you gravitate and how did you make your way towards the world of the adult entertainment industry? There's so many different facets, from modeling to cam modeling to just going right in there and doing what you do of all facets of life. But god dang, man, how did you get involved in the world of the adult entertainment industry?
Oh gosh. Well, I've kind of always wanted to do that, I suppose. Being younger, I was always the one to be a little bit wild or, the first one to get naked at a pool party or something like that. So it's kind of natural for me. It's funny because some of my friends now say I was just made for this job, but um, I kind of would frequent a lot of cool clubs or bondage balls, dungeon, things like that. And I was kind of into that scene for a while. And I was in a relationship that kind of just kept me from really pursuing anything. But after that ended, it just kind of really appealed to me. And there's always that stigma or, that uneasy feeling you have to jump into that because of the repercussions or with your family and stuff and I have a daughter, so sometimes you think about that and you just want to make sure you're ready to face the music and once people find out and that kind of thing. But I started to research a lot. I'm just someone who I can't really jump into anything unless I know as much as I possibly can about it. So I was researching for about a year prior to starting up. And I actually started camming first for Chatterbait. And it lasted, I think, I probably only did a few sessions because I started, I'm one that just tries to take everything on. So I started so many sites at once. And since I was so new and just really unsure of how everything worked, I think I just overwhelmed myself. So I pulled back on a few of them and kind of worked more so on my OnlyFans. But yeah, I just started seeing, on Instagram, I follow a lot of curvy models. I'm very much attracted. I'm pansexual, which I know some people don't get that term, but I'm so glad it's more so used now because, I really do like everyone and everything. I used to refer to myself as a freak with needs when I didn't really know that the word pansexual existed back in the day. But yeah, so I started watching models or porn stars like Sophia Rose or even Eliza, and just seeing their curves and how confident they are and how they just welcome the attention or the criticism. It doesn't matter. They're just, being themselves. And I thought that was so awesome just because, my entire life, I haven't always been, I guess, BBW, but growing up, I definitely naturally have curvy hips and a little bit fuller thighs, and I had large boobs, kind of an hourglass shape. But even though I felt like I wasn't, considered big for that time, some years ago, that was considered big. So it's odd to look back at photos of myself and see, my gosh, that looks pretty thin. But I was made to feel that way back then. So now being even, larger after having a kid and that, it's nice to be able to feel confident about it and to see others really flourish in just really loving their curves. And that kind of really pushed me into, actually taking the leap into the scene and the industry. And I couldn't be happier. I'm actually, I still work a regular job. So I'm kind of trying to balance them both, which can be difficult because I'll tell you this job in the industry is really time consuming and it takes a lot of work. I mean, it's really a lot of work. But I hope to soon, strictly work the adult industry and I just can't wait to see where it goes. So I've been working on, like I said, the OnlyFans, and I want to start up the camming again with COVID being here. I actually started, it was funny because I was research and everything about a year prior to COVID beginning. And when it started in March, I I just thought, well, if we're all closing down our businesses and that, this might be the chance for me just to move forward into it, because I've already been doing the research. I've already wanted to. And there's no better time than now to make sure that I'm still making the money I need to support myself and my family. So I've been doing my best, and I've been, obviously you saw that I was contacted by other producers, and I've been working with them and meeting such great people. It's actually really amazing how cool and outgoing and uh, just supportive the other females and even males are. So I'm just really having a good time.
That's what it's about in this thing that we call life. If you're not having fun, then why are you doing it? And I mean, it shows. And what I love about you is too, is your exuberance and your vibrancy, where it's like people gravitate towards you. And this applies to a lot of women, where it's just like, boom, I want to work with me some Monique Leslie. I want to get me some Monique, is what I'm saying, to put it bluntly like that, with the utmost sincerity and respect. But it's like, God dang, man, it's the imagery standpoint, Monique, because you got the tattoos, which is badass. It offers that sex appeal, and the body is a temple work of art. Hello. And there's a lot of guys that dig tattoo. So it's like your overall presentation, how you carry yourself, really goes away in the adult entertainment industry, and it really comes into fruition in every aspect of life. So I mean, you're hitting on all cylinders. That's a plus, and that's a big gain in the adult entertainment industry and life in itself.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the compliments and that. And it makes me feel nice that it's actually being perceived that way.
No, I get it. I get it. I mean, from a stance too, like going back to what you were saying about, you don't have to see how you're portrayed. You have a beautiful daughter. You have this, whatever. You're a parent. I mean, we've seen that in popular culture as well, because in true life, before MTV went all not so sweet 16 and really just into the reality era that we see now on MTV, we had shows like True Life, which really exuded and accentuated stuff like you talked about, the BDSM community and how people are into that, and everybody's different preference. Everybody being unique, right? But really had to do with apropos true life. So they did an episode where this woman, her mother was in the adult entertainment industry, and she did some modeling and stuff. And she had, I'll be honest with you, she had the voluptuosity factor of the breasts, if you will, and she had some nice boobs, to put it bluntly, as well. So it's just like, how do you want to be perceived, out there into the world? And it's something that she dealt with, which I'm sure a lot of people can deal with with career choices and career paths. But at the end of the day, you got that support of your family and the peers, and they're loving what you're doing.
Yes, yes, and that's great. Like I have told my parents, well, actually just my mom and my sister, and then to be honest, my daughter even knows. She's a teen, she's almost an adult, so she definitely knows. And it just feels good to know that I have the support of them. I can speak to them about my job just like I would with any other job, and I don't have to hide, or anything like that. That makes it much easier. I just can't wait for COVID to be over. Well, I guess it's kind of ending, but for things to go back to normal, where people aren't working from home, or she's out now going to school and things like that, to where I can actually do more here at home without feeling uncomfortable, that people can hear me, and that's the only thing still.
I will look at it from a stance as well, because first and foremost, with everything that's going on in the world, and I also love the fact that you so eloquently put it about your daughter, because it kind of reminds me of, and the wrestling fans that listen to this interview, Maria Kanellis, who was a wrestler in the WWE. She does other companies now as well. There was an article about her not wanting to do Playboy, while her sister was in high school, because WWE at that particular time period, before, everything went PG, WWE was very much into the Playboy magazine type of role. And this was in around 2008 when Maria did the Playboy shoot. And she's like, well, my sister's out of high school, so boom, here we are. But I just remember her, distinctly saying that. It's just like, God dang, man, she wanted to wait. So I guess her kids, her friends, and her sister didn't want to have to deal with that with high school. I'm like, that's very, that's very admirable, because again, you're still doing the stuff, but you're also thinking about your family in the process.
Exactly. Yeah. And the last thing I want to do is when they're supporting me doing something to make them feel uncomfortable or anything like that. So I can make my decisions for myself, but I still want her to, feel good about her family and me, and that kind of thing,
And
which I know she does. Yeah.
of course. And that's the thing. I look at it from a stance too. Like you're talking about, you've always had the curves. And I'll say right now, curves the word, spins the verb. Black Street, no diggity, no doubt. That to back it up. But no, I mean, I also look at it from a stance too. And this is why I love women just in general. It doesn't matter body shape or size. And we were talking about the pansexuality. it's like we live in a world again where we have, unfortunately, body shaming exists and shaming exists, not just body shaming, but shaming just in general. And it's just like, God dang, man, because I'll say this bluntly, when I was in a teenager, I'm going to be 30 next year, for God's sake. I'm 29 years old, and I look back at my life and the people that I've met along the way. I look at from a stance from the female side of things. When I was a young man into my teenage years, and still even to this day, a lot of women with the curves, and I'm going to say the BBW front, also looked my way. I'm not going to turn that down because you get to meet great people and also just, see where it goes. You know what I'm saying? But we're so faceted and we're so oriented on looks. It's just like, we've kind of beat that stigma. We're kind of looking towards a different direction of accepting people and learning just to appreciate the overall art and work of art that women are.
Right. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying, man. And I also look at it from a stand too. Like you talk about modeling. God dang, man, there's some beautiful models out there from the plus side of things and just general. It's amazing to see the evolution of how modeling's come from different magazines, different sites, different blogs. It's amazing to see from that imagery standpoint.
Absolutely. Yeah. And not only just the like curvy hourglass shaped models. I mean, they have true BBW full, models just really flourishing. And I just love that. It's just such a different, it's just a breath of fresh air, to be honest. I love it.
Okay, now you're talking about it. I'm sure everybody also has that friend of the party where they just get naked at the pool party and you just jump right in there with, I'm going to get naked at the pool party. No, I mean, first and foremost, I love that because, again, we were talking about that vibrancy about you, Monique, but I'm like, it's a free spirit. You know what I'm saying? You got to love that free spirit. You just want to have fun, and here we are. But it's one of those things where it's just like, God dang, man. Like, you love the fact that you see that free spirit and that overall vibrancy. But I was always curious because when it comes to the adult entertainment industry, like we've seen porn and adult industry stuff as well just go from sites to from X videos to paying for sites to movies to different parodies of different films. Was there any one like particular film that really piqued your interest from where you were, or is it just like, you know what, here we are? You know what I'm saying? Did you ever like see a cinema of adult cinema, I guess, back in the day to where we are now and just see the differences?
Well, I mean, I guess so. I mean, there's so many different genres, and it really depends on what kind of scenes you're looking at.
Of course.
I think I flock to more of like the fetish scenes or the just kind of kinky scenes. But I do like how it's just more open now. Like everything is just more accepted, and everybody who has their specific kinks or fetishes, they're just really making it known now rather than it kind of being kept under wraps, or if it's kind of like a super taboo thing to look at or even have to search out and find. I love that it's just more available now, just standard, and that's kind of cool.
That's the accessibility too, because I remember as a kid, as a 13-year-old, yes, I'm talking about that age, hormones kicking in, bada boom, here's the computer. So I remember as a kid when I first discovered the adult entertainment industry, there was a site, I don't know if it still exists, girlshuntinggirls.com. What was the plot? We got two girls, maybe they'll pick one up off the street, get into the cab, and boom, here we are. There's a threesome at the house, there's a one-on-one scene, but it was that type of material that we had as kids. I mean, we had Cat House, the series on HBO. We had different porn movies at 3 o'clock in the morning where you would wait for your parents to go to sleep. So, hey,
Right.
hey, it's what it was. And I did it. We've all done it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was my first introduction to Spider Babe, which was the porn parody of Spider-Man from like 2003.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. So, well, I don't know. Have you seen the movie or have you heard of the movie?
I have not, but there's just a bunch of things that I've seen, late at night or sneaking as a
Hey,
kid.
it's what it was. Like
I
that.
know.
Like, oh, but here's the thing. A lot of people say that like kids nowadays won't understand that. I mean, they don't because everything's right at their fingertips.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, they don't have to just wait or speak or anything. I mean, they see. To be honest, my daughter didn't even have sexual education in school. They just aced it out because I mean, these kids already know what's going on by just looking online.
That's okay. See, that's a great point. So I graduated. Okay. See, now you're taking me back here. I'm going to laugh about this. So when I graduated high school in 2010, I mean, we really didn't like cover it in sex class and health class. We mostly just focused on like the diseases and stuff, but we really never got into that. And again, being a senior in high school, I mean, we covered it in like junior high school, like middle school when I had it in 7th grade, but we really never really dabbled into it because again, like we all mostly know, and it was from elementary school and then to here and to there. So it's pretty much almost like the same curriculum and the same lessons. So it's just kind of like, what the hell? If I can that make any sense.
Yeah, that's just crazy. But I guess this is how it is now.
Well, they focus more on like the drugs and smoking and stuff, which I understand because
Right.
your straight program and Dare and everything that we went through. So I mean, I understand it. It's kind of like sex is like kind of on the back nine. It's like Nick Swartzen in Click. Well, I'm young. You're kind of on the back nine when he told Adam Sandler that in Click. So yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those things, pretty much, to make it like a pop culture reference, but it kind of sticks to everyday life.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool because, now I see how they're so open to, and I feel like I see the kids, they're more communicative, and so many more, even if they are, their specific sexuality, they're coming out and they're seen on TV, and that it's accepted. And I mean, even though it's different and unusual, from where, you or I grew up, it's really cool.
And also from the stance of the marketing standpoint, there's so many amazing adult stars. Like you mentioned, Sophia and Eliza are beautiful and very talented women, put out amazing content. But you, man, you got the name, you got the stature, you got the swag on you, Monique Leslie. Hey, Leslie, it's right apropos. It's right in the name there, man. So you market yourself well from that standpoint.
Right.
No, but that's how you have to look at it too. From when you're coming up with names or you're looking to, branch out into the adult entertainment world. I mean, from what a lot of us know about sex and love and everything, that the passion that goes into it. I mean, lust is another big part about it. So I mean, Lustly really does suit you and for your over personality, and it really showcases and shines through your work, Monique.
That's for sure. And I really thank you so much because that is definitely what I'm trying to portray.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. If you've not seen this woman's scenes from Plumper Pass, which we're going to get into in a lot of scenes, man, it's great content. And like I said, it's one of those things where you see you having a lot of fun. You see everything of yours shining through. And I'm talking internally and externally. Get your minds out of the gutter. There's a next plot to this. So it's one of those things where it does really go through. And a lot of people really do see the behind the scenes as well, which a lot of people don't talk about because it's like the lighting, the imagery, and everything that goes into it. Like from behind the scenes, it's amazing to see the finished product.
Yeah, I think that's so cool too, how they film behind the scenes. And I actually would like to see that because I'm sure I'm kind of goofy with the film when the camera's, is not rolling yet. But yeah, it's so neat to see how everything's put together where, we're getting into position or we're talking about how it's gonna work, and then, the filming and everything. I think it's great that they do that.
I mean, you have to. I mean, if we're gonna have back in the day, and I'm gonna take it back here, I'm a nerd, so we're gonna get the pop culture reference in here as well. Making
Hmm.
the video, MTV. If we get, I remember as an 8-year-old watching Cisco making the video. I'm talking about the thong song. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going back 20 years. If we
Right.
if we can watch Cisco and the thong song and Daddy What's This with the thong in the girl's hand, and we could watch the mustard on the hot dog, and the girls with the booty shaking, and we know what we're trying to imply. I'm 8 years old. I don't understand the sexual innuendo. As you get older, you understand what the hell's going on, and then you laugh about it. But at the same time, it's like if we could see stuff like that, we could see behind the scenes of an adult film. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's way crazier stuff that they get away with online, even just with the cartoons. So,
Oh,
um,
well, yeah. I mean, cartoons have come a long way since the days of Ren and Stimpy and everything on the.
I was just sitting thinking about Ren and Stimpy because we just watched a documentary about it and just how crazy the guy, the creator was, and how they put it together and stuff that they got away with, and it was hilarious.
Exactly. And the stuff that you see in cartoons and just everything in general, like I forgot what the hell I was watching, but there's a lot of stuff even you could see in SpongeBob SquarePants that there's innuendos, and it's SpongeBob
Exactly.
for God's sake.
Yeah, but that's what makes them entertaining for us.
Of course, exactly. And I mean, from the days when you had shows like Taxi Cab Confessions coming on late at night and you hear the stories of everybody's sexual, experiences and innuendos and what the hell that they got going on. It's amazing to see people and what the hell that they go through or what they have done, which is a great little documentary and a deal about, sex and everything in general. I'd also do remember, like we talked about Cat House, we talked about Taxi Cab Confessions. Girls Gone Wild was a big thing back in the day, and a lot of people won't even understand that. I mean, people say what they will about Joe Francis, but that thing was popular. Every commercial,
Oh yeah, it was. Hmm.
every commercial was, hey, I'll be honest, and I put it bluntly as this: every commercial was just woo, and then hey, and then that was the end of it for 30 seconds because they're having fun. They might get a little topless. It's like they're trying to get their Jerry beads on spring break. So it's one of those things where it's just you want to be there, you want to be at that time. And I remember having this conversation with one of my wrestling buddies. He's like, dude, do you remember back in the day when WWE appeared on a Girls Gone Wild pay-per-view? I'm like, yes, because it was 2003. If this happened in 2021, this would be an uproar.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that. That's cool.
they did like one thing. Well, first and foremost, you're also at a time period when this is very popular. So you're capitalizing on something that's so popular. And I'm like, they did one thing where it was Test, God rest his soul, for those that remember Test. Stacy Keebler, I think, was there, Tori Wilson and Nydia, who was a wrestler at the time there. But it's just like we had that time period where you had Girls Gone Wild. They featured it on a WWE pay-per-view. It tied into the storyline that they were doing on the program. And I'm like, okay, it's the blur of the reality, you know?
Right. Yeah,
And
definitely.
And that's cool. And then the commercials, that stuff that stuck out, and we talked about this. And I mean, Jerry Springer used to be on pay-per-view, for God's sake. If you saw Jerry Springer on Channel 11 in the morning, your daytime television, and then you get Jerry Springer Spring Break on pay-per-view, that's heaven right there. That's uncensored. You want to see some more Jerry is what you want to see.
Oh my gosh, yes, it's so funny. I just can't wait till I mean, I think that there should even be more, that's accepted on TV. I still think that they're a little bit too strict on certain things. I mean, if they're showing, it's like on the one hand they're showing crazy stuff over here, but then they're censoring this over here. It just doesn't make sense.
Exactly. And I mean, I look at it from a stance too. Look at music, for example. Like Eminem got nailed as a part of the cancel culture because it's like, oh, he said a line, and I think it's from The Way You Lie from 2010. And I just want to look at these people and go, do you remember when he was saying Slim Shady gonna fucking kill you, ring, ring, ring on the Marshall Mathers LP? Like, you could even take it back 20 years, but we're gonna get offended over his song that he did with Rihanna.
Right.
I,
Exactly.
I don't get people. And I mean, here's the thing now. Like we were talking about MTV, right? Do you remember the MTV show Room Raiders from the mid 2000s? Remember Room Raiders?
No, I don't.
So people will find anything to get offended by. So it was a show where they would, guys or gals would raid, hence the point, room raiders, go through their rooms, and whoever had the best room or what they liked won. And then they would get the spy kit, and if they had porn or something in the VHS, or there was something that looked suspect, they would get on the they would get like on the light, the friggin' light. Oh my god, the friggin' flashlight with the friggin' laser and not the laser, but you know what I'm saying, the friggin' flashlight, if you will, to check everything.
Oh, uh-huh.
Oh my god, I couldn't think of the word, but it's like, Jesus, this is what we had back in 2005. Now, if you play that nowadays, people will be like, oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't do certain things like you did like 15 or 16 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, and you're right. It is that people just get offended, and I get some of it,
Me too, of course.
but sometimes I feel like it's a little bit overboard.
And I mean, I'm all about, and what I think you could tell from when we're talking, we're very open minded. We're all about female empowerment. You know what I'm saying? But there's also
Right.
where it's like sex appeal, baby. Sex sells. It's the oldest marketing strategy, and it's the most big business slogan ever. Sex sells.
Exactly, and it always will, I think. So that's why this is the business to be in.
By the way, pop culture wise, I'm going to say this. I was checking out your ManyVids. I see you there with your with your Scooby Doo like attire there.
Oh, my Velma.
Yes, I have to put that over because first and foremost, as a young man growing up in the 90s, I was a huge fan of the Scooby-Doo cartoons, and I did see the Scooby-Doo movies, the first one and the second one in the theaters. And I will say this, I always loved Linda Cardellini from Freaks and Geeks when she was Lauren on Boy Meets World. And like for what she did with that character, it's so iconic. And just, I gotta say, you pulled it off very well.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was fun. I can't wait to do a lot more. I actually have a bunch of cosplay and different costumes and ideas. I just need to execute them.
Oh, I'm gonna ask, what are you thinking? Because I mean, if the Velma went over very well, what do you think about cosplaying wise?
Well, I'll just give you a little my next one I want to do, but I just need to find the right prints is I have a Snow White one where I have this dildo that is glass, but on the end of it, it has a red apple. So I'm just gonna make it like a like I'm coming in and I'm sick of the dwarves, and them always complaining and working so much, bored. And I'm gonna, fuck myself with the dildo, but it's gonna be a poison apple dildo. So then, of course, I'm going to pass out, and then the prince will come in, and the only way I could be woken up is by, the taste of his dick in my mouth. So I think that's the next one I'm gonna work on.
See, that is great plot and story right there. And I mean that because here's what's cool about that. There was an adult film years ago. It was with Angelica Sin, for those that remember Angelica Sin. So she was she was dressed up as a genie. So it's like I Dream of Genie type of deal, but not
Mhm.
really. So she granted the dude 3 wishes and then, well, led to the sex scene. So you could incorporate a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's just fun. I just love dressing up. I love costumes. I have tons of wigs and things, and I just like having a good time. And I feel like getting glammed up, or even I don't even mind getting real weird, or I don't want to say ugly, but do you know what I mean? Like where even scary or awkward, but making it sexy. Or even just a little bit of humor within it, but still, getting someone off. That kind of stuff is exciting to me, and I kind of hope to start, bringing that kind of stuff to life.
Well, first and foremost, that I would say that's a good weird. That's not ugly. That's a good weird. That's a good weird is what that is. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I want to get a little freaky.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna say right now, if you listen to the Dina Howard song "Freak Like Me," you should, because it's about you with your freakiness. I'm gonna say that right now. True.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard it. It was a one-hit wonder from 1995. People, Adina Howard, "Freak Like Me." I'm gonna be a freak.
Oh yeah, I definitely have.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay,
Yeah.
that's all you. That's all you. I'm just okay.
That's so funny. Yeah, I love all those old tunes, so I definitely have heard that song.
Oh my goodness! Put on some Silk right after that, because tonight, baby, I want to get freaky with you. Hello. So,
Right.
so getting back to your career here for a second here, Miss Monique Leslie. God dang, man. I've seen a lot of the work that you have done on Plumper Pass, man. You got to pay to play. Hell yes. I want to ask you about these scenes, because you got like the leopard type little pants there, looking all good, doing what you do, looking as only as you can look, to quote the Nature Boy Ric Flair. I wanted to ask you about Plumper Pass, because you have done a lot of great scenes for them, and it's an amazing organization featuring the BBW models and beautiful women like yourself. Talk about the experience of Plumper Pass, because these are amazing content.
I love Plumper Pass. They're actually, you know, probably my favorites, because they're, they just, I just feel like it's a very professional experience. Not only do you go and, you have the full studio and that, but they also make sure your makeup and hair is done, so you don't have to worry about that. Even though, I enjoy doing my own, and I feel like I do well at my own makeup, but it's nice just being able to, feel confident and be taken care of, and you just feel a little bit special. And then, they have great male talent, and Clint, is just an amazing person. And he's super nice. He's always not only, texting about work or anything like that, but also, on holidays, or checking in and stuff like that. I think he's a great person. And so I really enjoyed my time over there. It was comfortable. You had fun with it. And um, I think their site is great. I hear a lot of the fans, favor that site. And yeah, I loved the people there, all of the whole team. It was just a really great experience.
Beautifully said. And I look at it from a stance too. That's what you have to have with any company that you work for, any job, any endeavor. You got to have the camaraderie, man. And it's the professionalism that shows in each and every one of the scenes that Plumper Pass does. And I will say this right now, the term plumper, and I've always, here's the thing about the term plumper. Like, that was always something that I do remember as a kid, because funny story again. So again, you're a young man, you're in your teenage years, you're exploring. It's what we got to do. I would say nowadays, when I do stuff like this, I'll say I do it for research purposes only, but that's a lie. And I got to plead politically correct with it. Anyway, I digress. So it's one of those things where you're a young man, it's like you see different categories on different sites, right? So you're just like plumper, okay. And then boom, because it takes you to BBW and encompasses a lot of categories. I always enjoyed how, the plumper in the past takes you past to the site. Great marketing standpoint, like we were talking about, from names and sites and what have you.
Right.
But like that, again, it gravitates it towards you, and then you get to see people like yourself. So I think he's doing an amazing job from the marketing standpoint as well.
Oh yeah, he really is. Yeah, I can't wait to work with him again. I'm actually going again, I believe later this month, if everything goes smoothly. So I'm excited to get over there and get working again. Hopefully, it's summertime, maybe do something by the pool in a bikini or something like that. But yeah, I'm excited. I actually have a lot of endeavors coming up as far as traveling and working with some great people. So it's pretty exciting.
I will say this first and foremost. You're kind of like DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. You're just waiting for that summertime. Let's just sit back and unwind. I like your style. But no, it's one of those things too. Like you're talking about like being naked at a pool party and chilling by the pool. You know what that's very much like? I'm going to take you back here. You're like the Rock of Love girls or the Flavor of Love girls. Like it's the first night at the house where they just go buck wild.
Yeah, I'm the crazy one. Yeah, I'll be like kissing the chicks and still trying to hook up with the dude and all that. That's gonna be me. That's definitely me. I'm just super outgoing, and I've always just been one to just want to really have a good time and have fun with everybody and see everybody else having fun. And maybe I'll, I think a couple of drinks, and then maybe I'll start um, trying to. I'll be the one to try to start. Getting everybody to do something like that's all. You can only be in here if you take off your clothes, or whatever else. I definitely get handsy.
You're pretty much like Andrew WK. When we start the party, we will party hard. That is you all day.
Right.
Hey, when you were talking about hot in here and taking off your clothes, I will say this right now. Like we were talking about timeless classics. I was watching Nelly perform it on the 4th of July Spectacular. That song came out in 0304 and it still stands the test of time in 2021. It works. It does
Yeah.
work.
It definitely does.
I mean, and it gives us some lines like good gracious, ass, bodacious, vivacious, and then we see in the country terms the badonka donk. You know what I'm saying? And we talk
Right.
about voluptuosity factor. You have that voluptuosity factor, Monique, as do all women. And we were talking about badonka donk, good gracious, ass, bodacious, vivacious. It's fitting. Again, I'm putting the terms in your mouth. It's very true. Monique Leslie, hello.
Yeah, my booty is definitely badonkadonk.
Hey, that's not a bad thing though. I go on my Twitter feed, man. I was checking my Twitter, and what's the first thing I see? This woman trying to get her pants with your jeans. I see you. I like your style, that woman.
I had to, share the struggle.
Hey, you okay, so you're pretty much the epitome of the quote, the struggle is real, is what you're saying.
Right. Especially when I'm in a rush in the morning.
Hey, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You're a hard worker, literally and figuratively speaking. You're on the grind, literally and figuratively speaking. We'll be here all day, but you do what you do, and that's what's very makes you admirable. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing qualities.
Yeah. I love being busy. I'm just one of those people who, if I can't like sit still and just, relax too long. My brain is always going, it's always working. And, I'm always trying to figure out how I can make something better, myself better, or how I can grow or network and that kind of thing. So I just really enjoy the networking aspect, because not only do I want to network, of course, to, maximize my business and my potential, but also just because I like meeting people, and I can't wait to know them, you know what I mean? Especially if they're cool, and then I can make, a new friend in the industry, someone to collab with or chill with or whatever. So I'm excited to meet more people. Starting in COVID, I didn't really get to obviously get out or anything to get to any of the conventions or anything. Everything was online and canceled. So I'm super excited for this year to just like really get out there and start a normal year in the industry.
Agreed wholeheartedly. And I look at it from a stance too. If COVID gave us any plus, and I will say this, any plus to try to put the positive spin on it, man, it gave us a way to be creative with workouts or just creative while we're at the house. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going off the walls, so to speak, as much as possible. It gave us different ways to be creative. So, I mean, that's kind of the plus of what happened with everything with the coronavirus.
Yeah, definitely gave me time to sit and think, let me start this up and that kind of thing. So even though it was kind of shitty and, and it was kind of boring and that kind of thing, I do appreciate it for certain reasons, whether it's, getting closer with, family, or whether it's having time to actually start this up and that. So yeah, I think, you know, got to think of the pros and cons of anything.
Of course. And I also look at it from a stance too when it comes to what we have. Like you were talking about, we're coming back to some sense of normalcy. Not full on, but we're getting
Right.
to that point where it's like we're getting some normalcy back. And it's awesome. You know what I'm saying? Things are opening up. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like we're just enjoying to hear a live crowd, see a live crowd, be in front of the people, say, hey, how you doing? What's up? Give me a hug, the whole nine, man. It's the simple nuances and it's the little things that we took for granted that we really start to appreciate again.
Of course, yeah. I mean, there's certain people I haven't seen in forever, even some family. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to go out, hug friends, be able to go somewhere and dance where there's music playing at night, or hear a live band or anything like that. It's just, I can't wait.
Exactly. I was saying to my buddy, like the simplest thing right now. He's like, dude, why are you so happy? I'm like, me and my mom just went, I got some ice cream, went to Dairy Queen. A lot of us can't even sit in there. You know what I'm saying? We're going into restaurants again. It's awesome. Just enjoy an ice cream sitting by the beach. Hello. It's good stuff.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, it's great.
And besides, Dairy Queen is the shiznit. You can't go wrong with some DQ. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Some soft serve.
Oh, see, now I'm starting to get hungry again, man. We were talking off air. I'm just gonna put this out there because I gotta also put over your amazing food and tastes and your chicken. This woman's talking about Boston Market before we get on the air. It's making me hungry for some chicken because I grew up on Long Island, New York, and there's not too many Boston markets here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Where I lived in East Islip, right up the road was the Boston Market, and good chicken, the whole nine, man. You're making me hungry, man. You're bringing back good times from my belly, is what you were doing.
Oh yeah, it's yummy. It's good.
I gotta thank you for that because I mean, it's one of those things where we're appreciating our moments and appreciating our time in this thing that we call life. And I mean, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do, people. And one of the pluses as well, because we get to see such great material like yourself, which another thing we'll talk about. Pure BBW, an amazing woman, just had her on the show, the one and only Miss Babe West. Did some work with Christian. There's some one-on-ones. There's some threesomes. I got to ask you about working with Babe and Christian because god dang man, we talked about the chemistry with Babe. I'm going to talk about the chemistry with you. Y'all got that je ne sais quoi there. I say accoutrement. I'll say every word in the dictionary. It worked very well.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad. I still, like I said, I haven't seen that scene, but I have to. But filming it, I felt it was great. It was very natural, and I that was my first time meeting Babe, and she was great. She was very outgoing right from the jump, which is something that I enjoy because I'm the same way. And it was just very comfortable. It was just cool. And Christian, I've worked with him a handful of times, and I really enjoy him too. He's usually pretty straightforward. Let's get this done. This is the way it goes. This is the scene. Let's get it going. And but I like it because it just, it's direct and we get it done, and it usually comes out great. And yeah, and I heard Babe's podcast and I really enjoyed the little part where she spoke about our chemistry and that, because I felt the same way and I'm glad that she did too. She's super sweet, and I'm actually going to see her next week for another collaboration that we're going to do together for our site. So yeah, I'm excited, and it's always nice meeting another great new friend.
See, that's the beauty of life right there, man. And this is not just to quote Houdini because it's an amazing song. How many of us have them friends we can depend on? I'm putting that image of next Friday in people's heads right now. Anyway, I digress. But no, that's the beautiful thing about friends, man. You get to the camaraderie and the respect factor, man. That's amazing. And please tell Babe I said hello.
I will.
Beautiful. But no, I mean that's the thing too. Like there's pros and cons in everything. There's positives and negatives, but it's just like, man, what I love about this as well, and I'll take it back to the adult industry. There's the award shows. You get to meet everybody from the BBW award shows to the AVNs to what have you, the FetCons. Everybody's into different fetishes, whatnot, and exoticas. And it's like, god dang, man, there's a lot of fan interaction that we also get back as well because there's so many great award shows that are, associated with the adult entertainment industry.
Yeah, right. And sometimes, certain people, maybe they don't get out and about too much, and it's one place where everybody congregates together and you're able to see what's new in the industry, what's going on. You get to see performances, and you get to meet, these stars in person, whether you're a fan or, a fellow uh star. And I can't wait. I'm going to Exotica in Miami as well. So I'm super looking forward to that.
Exactly. And that's the thing, man. If you've not seen these awards, and I'll be honest with you, we were talking about as a kid and you don't want your parents to see, man, when the AVN awards would come on HBO or whatever it was, and you just got to wait till you're out the room because you know why? You're watching the porn awards. What kind of awards? We're talking about the porn awards. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I was a kid and I loved me the VMAs. I mean, when you had your Backstreets and your NSYNCs just doing the damn thing and Britney Spears on the VMAs or MTV and the movie awards, that's what I'm saying. Once you experience something like the AVN awards, it's something and it's a great experience to see.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, all those things that we used to watch on TV. Like before that, I'm even gonna go further. And I used to, like, my porn when I was young would not only be the late night stuff, but maybe like some Howard Stern, any of his shows, or his pay-per-view events, or oh gosh, just any of that stuff. I would be always watching and enjoying.
So you're the girl. All right, I'm going to do this because you mentioned Howard Stern, and here we go. So you're the girl in Private Parts who is sitting on top of the speaker and having an orgasm, and Howard's doing blah, 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 on the friggin' air. You're that girl.
Yes, yes. You know what's I have never ever tried one of those, and I want to so bad. So I think, yeah, I actually spoke to Eliza, and I think she said she had one and she was gonna dig it out, and I just can't wait. When that does happen, I will film it.
First and foremost, that's a recreation for people because no, here's what's cool about that. It's the nostalgia factor, and people know exactly what you're talking about because Private Parts was a very successful movie. But at the same time, you got the younger generation being introduced to Private Parts, and there's a plus in that. There's a win-win.
Yeah, definitely. Private Parts is cool, but even, I mean, that was, after his book, but like before that, he used to have a
Yes,
show on, gosh, was it Channel 2?
I believe so.
Like
Yes.
that. And he had so much stuff,
Well,
and it
that
was
introduced us to Fart.
Bongo Fiesta and all.
Yes. That introduced us to Fart Man, man. We got Fart Man out of that and everything.
Yeah. So I used to dig silly stuff like that, and that's just the kind of stuff that I want to do.
See, that's the thing. You got to be creative and just get the creative juices flowing. That really applies to everything. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing: there's great sex scenes, but then there's also the uniqueness and, dare I say, the flavor, FLAVA, the flavor. What's your flavor? That really goes into those films as well.
Right. Yeah, because I really enjoy, like say the regular studio scenes, like say for what I've done with Pure BW and Plumper Pass and Jeff's models, but I also enjoy, like I was talking about, not only the freaky stuff. I actually have been thinking about two different series that I want to come out with. And I don't want to say anything yet, just because I just want to make it happen. But I I think I'm just really inspired by, like I said, the Howard Stern silly stuff, but still sexy. Or, I'm a huge John Waters fan. Or I don't know if you're familiar with Trauma, but there some of their silly films and that. I kind of just want to incorporate that kind of thing with fucking, and even like I automatically think too. Like maybe Return of the Living Dead, but there's a part where I always laugh when the zombies like send more cops, and I just want to be like send more cocks. You know what I mean?
I get, I get it. I get that sense of humor. You're a sick puppy, but I love you. God damn. No. So, okay. So, I remember, like, and when you're talking about those actors, like, I remember Dave's Old Porn was a thing. Yes, I'm talking about Dave's Old Porn, bringing it back. Like, that was a cool concept because he's watching these porn from like the 80s, and then you actually have the stars come on to talk about the scene. I thought that was cool. And I'll be honest with you, what I get to do as a content creator and a podcast, I remember having Ginger Lynn on the show, and I'm like, Kinky Business is still one of the best, sexiest shower scenes ever in the movie. You know what I'm saying? You're at a time when Tom Cruise and Rebecca De Mornay, I'm talking about Risky Business, and then here you are, you're in the shower encompassing that, and who doesn't love a great shower scene?
Right. Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying, you know? You know what I'm saying? You know what? When we talk about this, and again, to make another movie reference, we were talking about the mid 2000s, 40-Year-Old Virgin, one of the best scenes. I'm talking about Paul Rudd, your big giant box of porn, Andy. Like, who doesn't remember stuff like that? It sticks out. Boner Jams 03. It's a mixtape I made back in the summer of 2003. Boner Jams 03.
Right. Yeah, I would be the one to like invite people over, just have a chill kickback or party at the house, and then just throw on some weird porn that I found at some shop behind a curtain, and then just see, like, don't say anything, just see what people do once they start watching it. I mean, I don't know. I just like weird shit.
So you would put on Space Nuts, is what you're saying? Like, put on Space Nuts.
Right. Something weird.
No, that's okay though, because I also look at it from a stance too. You're like very blunt, Paul Rudd, because he's like, man, come on, I've jacked it twice since I've been here. Get it out, let it loose, play with it. You know what I'm saying? You be blunt like that.
Right.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, there's a lot of innuendos and there's a lot of beautiful love making on all forms with the adult entertainment industry. And Monique Leslie, you've encompassed a lot of that in your career thus far in the adult entertainment industry, ma'am. So I will say this before we do close this out, because I have a couple final things I'd like to discuss. You are more than welcome to come back on the show any time, any place, what have you. I definitely look forward to a round two. And this has really been a pleasure and a privilege picking your brain, shooting the breeze, and doing what we do.
Oh, thanks. I really appreciate it. I'd love to, and I feel the same. It's been a fun time.
Hey, that's what we have to do with this, man, because that's like I said, you get all facets of life from the adult entertainment industry. And at the end of the day, it's professional, but at the end of the day, it's fun. And we get to see a lot of great people like yourself in it doing what they do of all categories, shape, size, don't matter, man. It's a good time. All in all, it's a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
Another thing I will mention, man, because I have been checking out your ManyVids, Miss Monique Leslie. I've seen a lot of great things that you've done with the one and only Peyton Thomas. You're naughty in the bath. You're doing a lot of tickle submission, a lot of great content on that front. Your ManyVids is a very good site that a lot of people should check out because you're very unique in a lot of the content, and it's very good.
Oh, really? Thanks. I really appreciate it. I definitely have to add more on there. But it'll be coming, and I know, well, whatever I do put on there, I put myself into it, so I hope it's enjoyed.
Oh, absolutely. I look at it from a stance too, where you're like stepdaddy. There's the joys, like I mentioned, Peyton Thomas, and just you and the girls looking as only as you can look. There's a glass dildo on there and anal plugging. Like that's what stuff and people are into, man. It's different preferences and it's different uniqueness, if you will, that really exudes and accentuates through one's being. And I got to tell you, exude and accentuate is what you do and many women do. So hey, you're doing your job and you're doing it top notch.
Great. I'm just trying to provide a variety.
That's what you have to do. And I also look at it from a stand, look at it from a stance too. Like OnlyFans, like how amazing is that just to see like OnlyFans is being like one of the top sites, top things that are out there right now. It's a great community. You get to put out more great content and videos and look sexy and just really update more with the content. But it's like, how amazing is the boom of OnlyFans?
It's crazy. I mean, I can't even imagine how much money they're making. But yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I just hope that it continues to last. Sometimes you hear things that, oh, they're going to be acing sex workers out, or and then you don't know, what's going to happen. But hopefully, they still respect us and let sex workers be on there. We deserve to be on there. We've made a lot of their money. And it's a great place for fans to be able to come and chat with us and, see not only our regular content or full videos or production stuff, but to see just us an everyday kind of thing. Whether we're posting little shorts of ourselves, uh, rubbing our pussy or taking a shower or just being silly. I mean, and it's a place for you guys to chat with us and and buy things and it's just neat. I love it. It makes it really easy. They have a great platform and I'm just hoping they keep it that way where they don't ace us out.
All right, so I got to bring this up because you were talking about Ace. Yeah, we're going to promote the social media segment where you're talking about Ace out and just putting you out. What in the world with Instagram, man? I followed both of your accounts. We got this backup one. Instagram is a son of a bitch when it comes to like stuff like that,
Yeah, it's so weird because I always see so many people's posts, and I'm extremely careful because my previous Instagram already got deleted. So I had been really careful with this one, and I made sure not to put anything sex worker related even in my bio. I kind of tried to I tried to spin it that I was body positive and all this business. But geez, I mean, I'm completely covered. I'm not out grabbing myself, not doing anything with everybody. But I see other people with their nipples hanging out of the fishnet or their legs spread open, but yet I'm getting taken down. So I don't know. And I hear a lot of people say, the bigger girls are who they kind of go for and punish. But I don't know. I see a lot of people on there showing way more than I do. So I don't get it.
It's people's standards and practices and just I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to put this term out here. It's a lot of bullshittery. Yes, I said bullshittery. There's a lot of bullshit.
It really is. I think I posted a photo of myself and I made sure to even blur the breast area so there was no nipple showing or anything like that. And I put, don't you wish I was your girlfriend? And they marked it soliciting. Yeah. And then they said they were going to take my account. So I'm like scrambling for the backup, to sheesh.
I don't mean to laugh, but you could also do like the spin of that where you're talking about don't you wish you were, wish I was your girlfriend. You can put the spin. You were listening to some Pussycat Dolls, and then don't
you wish your girlfriend was hot like me?
Exactly. Just you're in a Pussycat Dolls. That's all you're doing.
Right. That's true. I got to be smarter. See, I need you. I'm going to need you to caption my photos.
Hey, I got your back, friend. I got your back. Oh, but I will say this about your photos. First and foremost, I got to put this over because I'll have you plug your stuff in a second. But god dang, man, I did see a lot of your photos on the Twitter and Instagram when it comes to the 4th of July. God bless America. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
You're good. No, you look fabulous, man. You got the red, white, and blue showing you by the pool. It works and it helps. Like I said, good stuff.
Thanks. I was like, well, I don't have a pool, so let me just buy this inflatable.
It works.
I love inflatable pools. It's fun.
It works. You can put it. Okay, here's the thing. Besides just the pool, and I'm glad that you brought this up. If you get someone in an inflatable pool just chilling, sitting in it, lounging, it's a beautiful image, and it works. It does. It works highly well.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it.
Hey, what I'm saying, man, that's what we are. You got to appreciate life and appreciate the imagery, man. If Bob Ross, God rest his soul, for the 30 minutes, and I used to watch The Joy of Painting after school. It was on
Me too. I love him.
So if you got Bob Ross just starting off with a little smidge on the canvas, right? And then by the end of the 30 minutes, you got a waterfall, you got a mountain, you got this, you got that. If you can look at a painting, look at women and people in general, like Bob Ross looked at his art, that is something that's passionate and lovely right there.
Definitely.
So before I have you promote the social media, Miss Monique Leslie, do you have any advice for a lot of talents and women getting into the adult entertainment industry? Because with someone who's a straight vet, doing what you do with the professionalism that you exude and show within your work and your overall being, what advice would you give to a lot of people that are on the come up and really are looking to get to said field that is the adult entertainment industry?
Definitely to start off with, I would say a lot of research, just because, you know, there's so much to know, to be honest, not only with industry or with fetishes or with what things mean, but also with just what you're allowed to do on your social medias, what you're not allowed to do, terms and conditions of each site that you're on. There's so many things that um, these models miss, and then they end up getting their sites taken away, or they don't progress and grow as they should because they're not doing something correctly. So in all aspects, do your research, or they should do some work on their own, but also make friends, network with the rest of us. And I find a lot of the new ones, they're either pushy with it, or they try to post on your posts, trying to advertise themselves. Don't do that. That's rude and we don't appreciate it. But I would say do your research, make sure that you read everything as far as the terms go so you know what to do. And just be yourself, feel confident, network in Twitter, get on some retweet groups to grow. Um, yeah, and just try everything that you can. Don't ever feel pressured to do anything that you don't want to do. Really identify what it is that you want to become or what you want to portray, and build your persona. Keep all your information absolutely private, and don't share, your personal self with your fans. You be you, you sell the fantasy, and you make that money.
Beautifully said and eloquently said. I like that. I like that very much. Please adhere to the words of one Miss Monique Leslie, or someone who is doing her thing in the business, man. I'm going to say this right now. First and foremost, you got that intelligence, you got that articulate, you got that exuberance, man. Like you're doing, you got the elegance, man. You got the style, you got the swag. What else can I say? But Monique Leslie, before we close this out, please promote the Twitter, Instagram, OnlyFans, ManyVids, where people can follow you on all forms of social media. The floor is yours. Please go right ahead.
Sure. Well, on Twitter, I'm at Monique Leslie. Now that's Lustly, Leslie. On Instagram, I am Monique Leslie Official. And then I've also made a backup account because, like we spoke about, it may be deleted. It's at Monique Leslie Backup. And then I have ManyVids. I bought my own URLs for these. So it is MoniqueVids.com, gets you to my ManyVids. And then sextmonique.com gets you to my Sex Panther site, where you can sext me, call, that kind of thing. And I also have buymonique.com, which gets you to my ManyVids item store. And let's see here. Oh, and my OnlyFans is onlymonique.com.
See, I also like how you put the only Monique right there, because then you can spin it from the marketing standpoint. There's only one. So you're saying you're the
Only
you're number
one.
one? Yeah. What? Hey.
No one like me, babe. But yeah, I'm also working right now, actually, as we speak, on my regular site that I'll be having kind of the links to everything, but also just a blog about myself, a mailing list that fans can join, everything. So that's going to be moniqueleslie.com, coming soon.
Alrighty, the links will be in the description. You guys can check this out on SteveandMikeShow.com and SoundCloud.com/MCLarkin92, and coming soon to the Wrestling with Wrestling YouTube channel. I will say this as well, so we can have a good laugh before we do close this out. Man, if you guys heard a spill before, I keep a lot of empty water bottles with me, and I accidentally swatted them, and they went all over the place. I'm just like, just get the fuck out with the world. Just get the fuck out. So it was one of those things by accident. If you hear a spill, there were some water bottles flying. Thankfully, there was nothing in them because I already drank it, but god dang, man, that made a spill. I digress. I'm a klutz. So it's one of those things where I also look at it from a stance to Monique. I will say beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so very much for your time tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. I think you're great and you do a great job on this podcast. So thank you very much for the invite.
For Monique Lusley, the L to the U to the S to the T to the L to the Y, my name is Mike Larkin. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Thank you so much, Monique.
Bye-bye.